Yo, welcome back. This is Stu42. This is Minecraft, and this is probably the last episode of the series for this one. I think I've squeezed as much as I want to do out of this, and once again, real life is taking over, and I can't spend as much time playing. So today I'm going to do probably a bit of a playtime episode, to be honest. I've got a few things I want to do. I've set up quite a bit of stuff off camera. As you can see here, I have a sort of standard cows through to babies through to grinder. This is so that I can get some mob essence. So those of you that have done this sort of thing before, and in fact I've done this before in previous episodes, so I'm not going to go over it too much, but essentially we have some cows, we have a breeder that breeds them, a chronotyper throws the babies through here, and as soon as they grow up, this grinder fantastically chops them up into pieces. My wife says I'm a monster for creating this, but we need the mob essence, so that's kind of what we need to do. And we've just got a basic sort of farm here, feeding them, feeding the wheat in for the breeder. Now the other thing that of course we're going to use that mob essence for is for spawning stuff. If we go down to here. Here is our spawner. Now I've experimented a couple of different ways with this. I have done, I did originally have 4 grinders in here. Decided in the end it was easier to go for this conveyor belt sort of setup and a hole in the middle. If we cruise down here, here's our hole, and then this turtle is set to just attack. Basically, it'll attack and then suck up any stuff, and then the transfer pipes take the stuff away. So what could we possibly be spawning that we want to get out? So if we go back up, hang on, slight bit of lag. If we go back up over here, go in here, hover. So in here we have this, which says skeleton. It's not actually a skeleton, it's a wither skeleton. So wither skeletons take quite a bit of, because we've got spawn exact copy turned on, we're looking for quite a bit of energy and quite a bit of, it just takes quite a bit to spawn the wither skeleton. So I don't know how much more. As you can see, it's trickling a bit in, and then, oh, we've got one. Some power. Oh, maybe we just had one. Anyway, I'm sure you guys know what wither skeletons look like, so I won't muck around with that. But the thing we want from these wither skeletons is, of course, their skulls. Now, I know you can get a better rate doing some other things. I could muck around with enchants and all the rest of that, but here we have 6 of these wither skeleton skulls. And the reason we want 6 of them is because we want to build, finally, this Naquadah generator, Naquadah reactor Mark 1. And it takes, some uranium rods, pretty easy. We can get uranium, we can get aluminium. Even these things, engraved lapotron chips, processor boards, silicon, all that sort of stuff we've got. But the one thing we don't have is for these EV field generators, we need a nether star. So 2 of those means 2 nether stars, which means 2 withers. I'm not sure if I'll kill the wither on camera or not. It's not, I've done that again previously. They're not terribly difficult. You just throw your soul sand in that shape and throw the skulls on top. Plenty of videos out there on that, even if I haven't put one on camera before. And then we need 8 of these data control circuits, which means we're going to need 24 of these, which means 24 engraved crystal chips. Engraved crystal chips, pretty easy with olivine. We've got a ton of that, so not too much of a problem there either. And then, of course, the other thing we're going to need is that osmium. Now, you might remember my very last episode, we were starting to make osmium. We've got 59 of it now, so there's been a good week and a half of real time gone past, maybe even a couple of weeks of real time to make that. It's churning out a couple each day, which is pretty good, and I've just left that turned on, so it's just churning osmium. These 6 wither skeleton skulls, I get maybe 1 a day out of that spawner, so it's really, really not fast at all. And the cows I kind of have to babysit a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run away once again off camera, and we will, I'll make some of these components. I may need to, actually that's a thought, do I need to make uranium? Yes, I'm going to need to make some uranium. I've got plenty of ore though, so that's not a problem. I may even set it to auto. See, I've got another pod of grinders and ore washing plants and stuff here, so I might do that. So bear with me, I will be back in a moment. I'll make some uranium and make some of these precursor components for our Naquadah generator, and then we'll see what we're doing to get one made. And then I think for the end of the episode I'll convert my blast furnace to run off it, actually, because the blast furnace is a nice power hungry thing that can gobble up all that power that we're going to make. So see you in just a moment. Okay, I am back just for a bit because I found a hilarious way to defeat the Wither. I decided to try using these golems. I had read somewhere that it should work, so what I did is made 3 of them. So I'm going to make another 3 because that guy's pretty damaged now. And it was hilarious. Oh, I don't have enough. Not enough pumpkins. Not enough pumpkins. So as you can see, I've got one of the nether stars that I need. I quickly need to get the other one. So I'll just run and see if I've got any pumpkins ready. Hopefully I've got one. If not, we'll just do it with that damaged... Oh, they're not even close to growing. Alright, so... I might have to go in and finish them off myself with my trusty sword. But that's okay. That's kind of annoying. Alright, so, as you know, when you do the Wither, it starts building up its power first of all. So we can place that, and that. And we have a Wither. And look at them go! Alright, I'm going to go stand outside. So they do that while its power builds up. And as you can see at the top, just behind... Oh, there we go. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, so he's hit one of them. Oh, nearly. Nearly. Boom. There we go. Oh, we got ourselves a division sigil as well. Awesome. So there we go. Some extra stuff, and that's the extra nether star that we've got. So I'm going to do that next time I need a wither star. I'm just going to build 3 of these. It looks like 2.5 of these golems isn't quite enough, so you do actually need 3 of them. I have so much iron. It wasn't really an easy decision. It wasn't really a hard decision, sorry, to make to build the golems. But there we have our 2 nether stars. So once again, I'm going to run away. I'll make the rest of the stuff that we need for these things, and then we'll come back, hopefully, once we're getting close to finishing this first Naquadah generator. See you in a bit. Okay, we are back, and the next bit has proven a little bit difficult. So as you can see, I'm wearing my GIMP suit, the hazmat suit, because I've had to deal with some of the uranium. Now, as you can see, I've got just about everything else. I'm just missing these 2 uranium rods. The reason is there's 2 different sorts of uranium. There's uranium-235, which I think is the one that will hurt me, which is why I'm wearing the suit. Uranium-238 is pretty much all you get out of the ground. So the way you get uranium-235 is you take uranium-238 dust and you pass it through a centrifuge. So down here I have a bunch in here still and a bunch in there still trying to make 235. You have a 20% chance for each dust to give you a tiny pile of uranium-235. So to make these two ingots here has taken me maybe a stack and a half of uranium-238, so pretty expensive. I did try to scan one of the 235 dusts in so that we can, produce it the same way that we produce osmium, but unfortunately you can't do that. You can only scan uranium-238, so kind of stuffed there. But at least now, actually, we're going to take that one. Put it in my fast lathe. Cool. So these are the last 2 bits we should need. We should have, there we go. That one should appear any second. There it is. Oh my gosh, Naquadah reactor. We now have a Naquadah reactor. Let's combine those. Cool. So now, what are we going to do with said Naquadah reactor? We are going to try and link this up and make our blast furnace a lot nicer. So one of the things I wanted to do with that is to use, how many have I got? MB. So we've got one HV energy hatch. I wanted to go 2 steps up. So we've got an LV at the moment over there. We wanted to go for HV. So I'm going to need another couple of HV energy hatches. These should be pretty easy. HV machine hull and a gold cable. I've got these on Autocraft, so that's cool. 2 of those. 2 gold cables as well. 2 of those and 1. Is it going? Getting there? Cool. So we can have, there we go, 3 HV energy hatches. We're going to need ourselves a transformer. So we're going to need one that goes from, there we go, 2000 down to 512. So this is going to be an HV machine hull, 4 gold and an aluminium. So another HV. That's cool. And 4 gold. So handy with all this stuff set to Autocraft. And we're going to need, what was it, an aluminium. So I haven't got that set up for Autocraft yet. So we'll just throw this in here. Now I'm also going to need an HV battery buffer because we're going to need to stack HV batteries into this thing so that we can get that. We need to put that in there. It's always a bit different using this thing for crafting. I didn't want to take everything out of here. So there we've got that. So now we're going to need, we're going to need the battery buffer. So which one are we going to use? High voltage battery buffer. So we need a bunch of gold wire, another HV machine hull, and a chest. So we're going to go for these. Now, I tend to like making as much as we can do, really, and we've got quite a bit of gold, so we're just going to go for the full 64. We're also going to need a chest, machine hull. Now, once that moves up, we're going to get some of that. We're also going to need, I've been busy making battery alloy because I know that we're going to need a ton of battery alloys. I'm going to have to do a lot of this off camera. Yeah, cadmium, cool. Cadmium batteries are going to be good enough for us. We're going to wait for these. And then what we'll do is we'll set up similar to what we've done now with the low voltage, I think. We'll put the high voltage energy hatches in. Throw some cabling in. There we go. 8 times and 4 times. Woohoo. Cool. 16 slots of those. So the battery bit's going to take me a while to do, so I will do that off camera. Over here, though, we can start getting set up for this. So what I was planning on doing is, this is going to be a bit tight for room. I wanted to put the generator out this side, which means I kind of need to move where these power bricks are going. Let's just dig under here. Give ourselves some room. So we're going to need, where are they? Wire cutters. So these are, so that's the LV energy hatch, LV energy hatch, LV energy hatch. I want to move the maintenance hatch as well, and we'll move this one as well. So what I'm planning on doing is we'll get the, where's the maintenance hatch? Maintenance hatch. Okay, let's just put my jetpack back on. So the maintenance hatch I want to put back over this side to keep it out of the way. The high voltage battery buffer will go out this side somewhere. We're going to need to put the HV energy hatches. So I want to put one. Didn't turn around the way I hoped, but that's okay. We can turn that around. HV energy hatch, HV energy hatch. That side. that side, and our last machine casing can go there. Cool. So now we have these three HV energy hatches to swap out for the low voltage ones we have. We're going to have our battery buffer sitting. I'm just going to dig some more of this out so that we know what we're doing. So we're going to have our battery buffer sitting probably against this side. Are we going to sit it against that side? Are we going to be able to do the power that we want? Yeah, we're going to be able to do the power that we want. So, so what we need is our high voltage battery buffer. There. Awesome. We're going to have our transformer. So the transformer is going to go there. Big side to the side, so that's where the higher voltage is coming in. Our Naquadah reactor is going to go there. Oh, there it is. It's the first time I've actually looked at one. Liquid amount, oh, that's interesting. So this should now feed to there, to there, to there. We're going to need some cabling, so that's not too hard to get. And then we're going to also need to find a way to feed our generator. So our generator is... Oh, actually, that's not going to work unless we put a plate on that side. You know what? I'm going to move it. So when we put a cable here, I didn't want it to accidentally connect up to anything. So we are going to just dip into this side a bit. So the voltage that way. I've got a reactor that way. I don't know how this works. How does the front side look? Wow, so that's how the power looks. Let's make sure the power's facing that. We then need... Yeah, we're going to need some cable. So what sort of cable have we got? 6 of these. 512 with 8 amps. 8 amps should be enough for what we need. Oh, we got heaps of it. Heaps and heaps of it. Alright, so we can put... Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab some smooth stone as well, just to fill in some of the gaps. And then we're going to put cable, cable, cable. The rest doesn't need cable because it's all directly hooked up. We're going to put that there. Oh, I really don't like these hit boxes. Okay, so that should be good enough for that. Now what we're going to also do is dig through here. This is going to work out so perfectly. We're going to need to have an export bus, which I happen to have a couple of. Cable. Yep, I have a spare one of those. So this is where we're going to export our Naquadah bolts to. Now Naquadah is also going to hurt us. So let's just turn that back on with the soft hammer, because since we've changed it around. Now the thing that's going to kind of annoy us with this is the Naquadah bolts. So I'm going to need an extruder. Now that one's in use. That one's in use for iron plates. So I might just repurpose one of these extruders just for the sake of it being faster, because I do have a bolt. There we go. Now I'm going to also need to put on the GIMP suit again, because we're going to try and hold some of this Naquadah in our hands. Now I've got 70 enriched Naquadah ingots. They are pretty nasty unless you're wearing the suit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go around here. We're going to take out that. We're going to just manually throw some bolts in. Throw some of that in, enriched Naquadah bolts. Ooh. And then, hopefully, there we go, there's some bolts. We're going to set this to export the bolt. Does it do anything? 8, 7, woo! And generating. Cool. So the only thing we're missing now is a bunch of batteries. Now I am going to cheat for this. I'm going to take 3 of these from here. And we're going to take one of them from there. Oh, not going to have enough. Not going to have enough. So let's just throw them in there. So we know that we need 5. So that's going to fill the buffer up, and then hopefully this will burst back up once the internal buffer of this, because the actual battery buffer itself has some storage. So once that storage gets in, hopefully this thing is. Oh look, there's some more coming in. That's awesome. So we're going to need to also take the old Naquadah bolts out. Right. That's generating a lot of EU. Wow. Now, why is that not generating? This might need to be facing that way. Wow, okay, so here's the trick. The Naquadah gen seems to output on the sides rather than the front face. So that little graphic there seems to indicate that there's a plug on each side, which is, that's kind of cool. Alright, we don't want to like there. And they're full again. So in the interests of getting this done, let's steal another battery. Throw it in there now. 5 should be enough, because 5 is what we've worked out before as being. I love that graphic. I should have put it above, actually. We're also going to need an input bus to take. Actually, I might leave a space. Oh, I got any Naquadah on me? No. Need to get out of there. Oh, and now I'm going to need to put it all back on, because one of the things I really wanted to do was to see how fast it smelts in rich Naquadah dust. So let's put 16 in there. That should start going. Yep. 15. Cool. Now how fast is this disappearing? Not too bad. So I am expecting this to go down just ever so slightly. The reason for that is this will only be able to fill 4 of these at once with the 4 amps that are coming out of the transformer. But we know we need 5 in here. I think that's because of the loss in the cables underneath here. So hopefully this will be much faster. It's something like 80 or 90 seconds. Let's have a look. Blast furnace, there we go. So if we are blast furnacing one of those into a hot enriched Naquadah, it's normally, 300 seconds. So normally 5 minutes. It should be, what's that, half the time and then half the time again. So it should be just over a minute, which we'd be coming up on pretty shortly, I would guess. Still haven't used all the power up from these. Interesting. Very interesting. It's still going though, which is a really, really good sign. Here we go. Tick. Wow, much faster than 300 seconds. And we're still fine. Cool. So what I might do is I might tweak this a little bit more. Off camera, we've got to put an input bus on the bottom of there. I'm going to set the export of that Naquadah, enriched Naquadah ingot. And then we just have to do some more processing. But at the moment, we've used 1 Naquadah bolt, and we have used maybe quarter of its power, because it started with about 20 million EU. So these things are going to last an insane amount of time. This is an awesome way of generating power. Wow. And 30. Yeah, so into our second one. Cool. Alright, well I think that is going to be us for this episode. Like I said, this is probably going to be the last episode. If I get energetic, I might make another one, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do. For now, it's probably time to have a break, and we'll come back when they've made a new pack. Hopefully they'll have some 1.8 packs in the next few months, and we'll be able to re-roll the server and start all over again. So there's our Naquadah generator. That's about where I wanted to get to anyway with GregTech. So all fun and done. So as always, thank you very, very much for watching, and we will see you maybe for another quick episode, but maybe not, next series then. Thanks very much.